Hi there, my name's Alex, and I recently purchased two of the Dawson Realspace computer desks. I've got one set up here, one set up right here, and they cost about $150 to $200 from Office Depot. And I just want to give you a brief review where I share with you some of the pros and the cons of this desk, so you'll know whether or not it's right for your needs. So let's start off with the good things. So the Dawson desk, as you can see, it looks really nice. I really like the design. You've got a door here, you've got a little keyboard tray, and you've got some really nice drawers there. It all looks very nice. For the most part, it seems like everything fit together really well. It was very precision cut. I was very impressed that everything fit together like it did. And also, in the assembly packets with the screws and so forth, they usually include one or two extra pieces, usually one extra screw for each packet. And that came in handy, because I had a couple of the really small nails to tack in the back break on me, and so those extra came in handy. The drawer space, I love the drawer space. It looks really nice, and everything glides in and out really well. Yeah, it's really good quality, how it functions. I also really like this computer cord hole that is adjustable. That's really nice. That way you can push it up against the wall flat and still have computer cords running to your iMac or whatever computer you use or monitor. The keyboard tray I like a lot because I found that if I work with my hands up here, typing on the computer for too long, it can put strain on my shoulders and give me headaches. But this allows me to kind of leave my arms at a more comfortable level and type without getting those headaches. I like how it's big enough that you feel like you can put a large iMac on top of it and it won't fall over. It also feels sturdy enough for an iMac. Anyway, those are some of the pros, and for the price, for being under $200, I think it's a pretty good deal. However, I must mention the cons, some things that I noticed that I just thought you should be aware of. Though it looks like it's all solid wood, to my knowledge from assembling it, it seems like there's no solid wood in this entire set. It's all made out of composite wood or fiber wood. Most of it's composite wood. And some of the pieces are pretty flimsy. Like, I was surprised how skinny some of the wood was, and then you'd have to screw a large screw into this really skinny wood. And surprisingly, it did work. I was able to assemble it, and it looks really good. There weren't many hitches along the way, but I just think if it were made a little bit thicker in some parts of it, for example, the back plates are kind of flimsy. If they could be made a little bit thicker, I think I'd appreciate that, because the way these back plates are is such that if my toddler were to kick it hard enough, he could break a hole, he could crack the back plate, and then it would look really kind of messy. So that's one thing. Also, this little plastic plate that goes in this computer cord hole, it chipped on me the second desk that I assembled. I was just putting it in, it just cracked. So if this plastic could be made more durable, maybe a little thicker, that would be really appreciated. This is pretty sturdy. It's sturdy enough for a computer, but this isn't the kind of desk that would necessarily hold up in an earthquake if the house landed on it. Or that you'd want to sit on top of, per se. It should be fine for putting computers and books on it, but it's not something that you'd want to just sit on the edge of all the time, because it's not solid wood. And I could see that kind of giving way if you were to put too much weight on it. Also, I've noticed if you look at the stains, they look really nice. There are a few places on the stains where you can see kind of little splotches. So this color, you can see that it was painted on, and sometimes you can see where some of it dried without being smoothed out or something. Anyway, I mean, it looks good. From a distance, especially this cinnamon cherry color, it looks very crisp and very nice. but I did notice that if you look hard enough, you can see a few imperfections. It's not a big deal, but I figure I'd just mention that. Also, in the manual, there is a typo, and I ordered this towards the end of 2016, just so you know how recent this typo was. But on page 8, it's talking about putting these screws, B1, into the tabletop to help it fit on. And it says A1 on the diagram. So that's just one typo to be aware of. Probably the biggest con, though, of getting this desk, and probably really any nice desk like this, is just assembly time. For shipping purposes, it's it can come in Amazon or through the mail or wherever you're shipping it from in this nice compact box. But that means that every single piece, every single screw, everything is in little bags and all by themselves, and you have to assemble them one at a time. So there might be 100 different screws and bolts that kind of hold this together, and you have to manually assemble them. The first time I assembled this desk, I think it took me about 4 hours, maybe more. I took my sweet time though. If I were kind of more on it, I think I could have done it in like 3 hours. This desk probably took me like 2.5 to 3 hours to assemble. Maybe a little bit less, but somewhere in that range, 2 to 3 hours. Even knowing what I was doing more or less, it still took a while to screw in all the screws. I made my hands pretty raw after doing the first desk. Overall I'm very pleased with the Realspace Dawson computer desk. I think it looks beautiful. I really like it more than the other designs. Those are just a few things that I wish they would improve. There's one more that I should mention. Underneath the drawer, under this bottom drawer, there's a really thin piece of wood that makes up the bottom of the drawer, and it gives you a warning that this is not meant to put things on top of, which is kind of weird because me as a consumer or as a worker, I'd want to just pile in lots of things into this drawer, but they ask you not to. And so I think if they fixed that, if they made it just a little bit thicker so it could bear, it feels sturdy enough that you could put maybe a few hard drives in there or a few books, but you wouldn't want to pile it full, else that would probably break it. They have these things to put in the little file drawers, or to hang hanging files, and that's what they recommend. I didn't use that though because I'm not sure how much paperwork I'm actually going to have. Most of my work's on the computer. So that's one thing that was kind of interesting, that the drawer, bottom drawer wasn't, and also the top drawer, it looks like it can bear some weight, but it's also a pretty flimsy piece of wood. If they could make that bigger, thicker, stronger, I'd really like that. And then, like I mentioned, in the back, it's thin enough that if my 4-year-old were to kick it really hard, it would break, and then it wouldn't look very nice, and it would be hard to fix. So. But, all the pieces of metal, all the hinges look like great quality, look really nice. Assembled without a hitch, pretty much. These drawers go in and out great. On the other one, they clip just a little bit sometimes, but it's not a very big deal to me. Anyway, I hope that's helpful for you, and if you have any questions, feel free to comment below. Thanks, have a great day, bye-bye.